Once upon a time, in a small, cozy house on Elm Street, I was a curious 10-year-old with an insatiable appetite for adventure. My name was Sarah, and I lived there with my mom and dad. Our home was filled with warmth and laughter during the day, but at night, it transformed into a realm of shadows and eerie creaks that set shivers down my spine. One chilly October evening, the wind howled outside, rattling the windows and making the branches of the gnarled oak tree tap against the glass. Like skeletal fingers, my parents were heading out to a dinner party, leaving me in the care of our trusted babysitter, Mrs. Turner. As they said their goodbyes and vanished into the night, I felt a familiar twinge of unease. Mrs. Turner, a kindly elderly woman, did her best to calm my nerves. She made hot cocoa and told me stories of brave children who faced their fears. As the hours ticked away, her soothing presence reassured me, and I started to feel more at ease. Eventually, it was time for bed, and Mrs. Turner tucked me in with a soft, reassuring smile. Just as I was about to drift off to sleep, I heard a strange sound coming from the closet. It was a low, whispering voice, like a gust of wind speaking words only I could hear. My heart raced, and beads of sweat formed on my forehead. I clenched my eyes shut, hoping it was my imagination playing tricks on me, but the voice grew louder, its words unintelligible yet filled with malevolence. Summoning all my courage, I mustered the strength to fling open the closet door. What I saw froze me in terror. A shadowy figure, shrouded in darkness, loomed over me. Its eyes glowed a sickly, otherworldly green, and a chilling, guttural growl escaped its lips. It reached out a clawed hand toward me, and I screamed. Mrs. Turner rushed into the room, turning on the light and banishing the nightmarish figure. She comforted me, assuring me it was just a bad dream. But I knew it was real, and the fear that gnawed at my heart would not easily be quelled. The next morning, I joined my parents at our favorite neighborhood cafe, trying to shake off the lingering terror of the previous night. The cafe, usually a haven of warmth and cheer, had a different aura that day. The barista, Mr. Johnson, had a haunted look in his eyes as he served us our usual pastries and coffee. As we sat in our corner booth, I noticed that the patrons were unusually quiet, their conversations hushed and anxious. The atmosphere grew increasingly suffocating, and my parents exchanged worried glances. It was as though a shadow had settled over the cafe, casting a pall over everyone present. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and the room plunged into darkness. Gasps and panicked whispers filled the air. I clung to my parents, my heart pounding in my chest. A chorus of eerie whispers filled the darkness. The same malevolent voice from my closet the previous night. When the lights finally came back on, the cafe was empty. The patrons and staff gone without a trace. My parents and I were left bewildered. The events of the night before, and this bizarre occurrence leaving us with a chilling sense of dread. Terrified and bewildered, my parents rushed me to the hospital, hoping to find answers to the unexplainable horrors that had plagued our lives. As we entered the sterile, fluorescent-lit corridors of the hospital, we couldn't shake the feeling that something dark and sinister was still lurking, waiting to reveal itself. Little did we know that the horrors that began at home and continued in the cafe were far from over, and the hospital would be the setting for a final, terrifying confrontation that would test our courage and resilience to their limits.